Hey, what's up, everyone? So this is a very exciting week. It's turning into, I had my friend Oliver launch his Swords and Sandals game like yesterday, and everything is going very well with sales. I was very happy to hear that, when a close friend of yours launches a game, you want to kind of, if you're a good friend, you hope everything goes well and you cross your fingers. But there is one more huge indie launch taking place tomorrow, the 31st of May. And that is the anticipated title Dwerve, led by developers Peter Milko, aka Pixel Pete, and PJ Snarly Narwhal. So this game, Dwerve, has been perhaps the most anticipated indie game in a very long time. How much so? Well, they are launching tomorrow or today, depending on when you watch this. They may have already launched. But they are in the top wishlisted games with their Zelda-like tower defense dungeon crawler. This game, going into launch, has 70,000 wishlists. Yes, 70,000. So it's in the top most wishlisted games on Steam right now, up there with the biggest AAA titles for what is essentially just a very small indie team. Ground roots, classic indie team. To be making waves in the market rivaling that of AAA titles, it's really exciting, and it gives all of us, of course, hope as to what can possibly be. These guys have really ticked all the boxes and have done everything right to make sure this game is a success. They had a Kickstarter campaign, which they ran about a year ago, which was funded. You can see here they asked for $10,000. They got overfunded substantially, $53,000. And if you just have a quick look at this campaign, it's a fantastic case study of how to run a Kickstarter campaign, and more importantly, how to execute public relations. So I just want to give you guys props. Such a good job, really, such a good job. Pixel Pete is a fellow YouTuber and a friend of the channel. So I reached out to him the day before launch just to see how he's going, and I suggested maybe he record me a message because we tried to tee up a interview, but just with the time zone differences and the different scheduling, it was a bit difficult. Instead, this guy made and edited and rendered out essentially like a mini video for us to enjoy. That move is a testament to his work ethic and how he has approached this whole project. All right, let's see what he has for us.
Hey, Peter. I just want to reach out to you, first of all, to congratulate you on getting this far in the journey to being on the precipice of launching such an important title. A lot of people are looking out for this. They're excited to play this. So I just want to get an idea of, how you're feeling at this point, being, days out from launching such a behemoth title. Just get an idea of your, I guess both your physical and emotional state and kind of what.
My physical ain't bad, boy.
Not bad.
What that's looking like on your end. Cheers, man.
Cheers. At the beginning of Dwerve, I had this huge motivation, and everybody has that, and it's so easy to get super excited about a game idea. But the part that sucks, that really sucks, is the middle. And I've been working on Dwerve for 4 years. That middle was like 3.5 years. And the lowest that I got during that was being so depressed that I didn't even have fun playing video games. I became apathetic, and apathy is the enemy of getting anything done. When you start thinking that like nothing matters and you don't care and you don't feel, and that's part of like depression, right? I think is getting apathy and stuff like that. But I was like, dude, I can't. I have to push through this, so I got to get my mental state right. And this is why I love your videos, man. You try to help people out through these kinds of things. So just to recommend like one book, and if you've seen this before, then it should be a sign that you need to read it. It's The 4 Agreements, right? So you can finish that in an afternoon. It's really, really easy. But when you read that, it changes your perspective. And a lot of the emotions that we feel are just perspective. And you can change your perspective, and that's part of being open-minded and wanting to improve yourself. What I kind of realized and I started doing is I started adopting the perspectives of successful, wealthy, people, right? And I don't care about breaking down like, oh, is this perspective right or that or whatever. It's more like, dude, just think of it of like a philosophy, right? And that's how I got also into stoicism. Look a little bit into stoicism, and that'll help you with a lot of mental problems. And then I also started reading stuff like, I just picked this up at a bookstore. It's the Motivation Manifesto. I wouldn't say it's great. It's a really generic motivational book. But the reason why I picked this thing up is because think about like a team coach, right? He does a pep talk for the team every game, right? To make sure that they perform well. Well, most of us don't have a person giving us a pep talk, which is why I think you guys like watching these YouTube channels, because it's kind of like a pep talk for you, right? But I read that Motivation Manifesto book every single day, and even though it's generic motivational stuff, it helps my subconscious remember what to focus on, right? So like if you wake up in the morning and you watch the news and you get all caught up in it, and then you think that it's important for you to post your opinion on Facebook and argue with other people on Twitter or whatever, you've already messed up. You've already messed up, right? You don't have your mental game under control. So listening to the perspectives that I want to have every day makes my instead of some stupid news story bubbling up in my head to get me upset, some political thing, right? Instead, what bubbles up in my subconscious is a quote from the Motivation Manifesto. And like, which one's going to help you out more, right? If you completely fill your subconscious with motivation, affirmations, and positive things, or whether you fill your subconscious with stupid news and rage porn. And then you're working and all of a sudden, you get really angry because of something that's completely unrelated to the current situation, to your work. Oh yeah, so how I'm feeling now. So it's however I want to feel. Because you decide how you want to feel, right? And something in the 4 agreements is you decide how you perceive the things coming at you. With Dwerve, I used to tell people, I'm making a lottery ticket and I'm gonna cash it in. And like, that's a really fun and funny quote to say. But honestly, it's almost insulting to the amount of work, effort that goes into making a game like Dwerve. And a lot of developers, they obsess about like wish list numbers. By the way, Dwerve got over 70K wish list, which is pretty good. So it does give me a sense of security, blah, blah, blah. But you never know what the conversion rates are going to be. And it's never a sure thing. And to be in this industry,
it's true.
You really have to be comfortable with uncertainty and not be attached to the outcome, right? And that's really difficult to say when you make it your livelihood. But when you focus on those things, it doesn't make it easier. So just don't.
Well said, man.
I'm going to be so relieved after Dwerve is done to finally be able to, after like 4 years, be able to work on a new game idea. I have like 10 game ideas. It's ridiculous. A rule that I made with PJ, my partner, working on Dwerve, is that, dude, let's not talk about other game ideas, because you don't want to get excited and invested in another game idea before your current one is done. That's like a game dev curse. You know what I mean? You got to avoid it. But of course, I'm still going to have a portion of my time daily be on improving Dwerve, getting back to people's feedback and stuff like that. And we might work on DLC. We have to make the Switch version. So it's not like I'm completely going to stop working on Dwerve, but still, it's going to take off a lot of pressure, especially those paychecks. Know what I'm saying? One last thing. I have a big announcement. We're doing a Let's Play contest. Yeah, that. We're doing a Let's Play contest for $1,500 worth of Corsair stuff, and hardly anybody has really submitted to this. All you got to do is play the free Dwerve prologue and upload it to YouTube. It's real easy. Come on, just go get your free Corsair stuff, okay? It's going to be really easy. Man, there's still so much to talk about. Maybe in another video, right? I turned off the auto zoom a little late, but I'll see you guys next time. A Devlog.
What an epic response. Thank you so much for recording that for me, Pete. I really appreciate that. You know, so much wisdom in what you said and so much that I personally relate to. You know, you mentioned stoicism, and I really quite like the philosophies and ideas which Stoicism is based on. And it's unfortunate that in more modern times, it's kind of been beaten up with self-help TikTokers, names dropping Marcus Aurelius and kind of bastardizing the Stoic ideas. But with that said, beneath all that noise, there is something essential that really is quite beneficial if people tune into that. Our decisions in terms of how we respond to things affect us, affect how we are going to feel, which is why I'm so careful when I start my days not to be too disrupted by, like Pete mentioned, politics and things like that, rage porn. You mentioned some of those books he bought. They have, some kind of generic motivational quotes. And yeah, maybe they're a bit cliche and a bit trite. You might run into some, cringy cliche motivational quote, but hey, it might put a pep in your step and it might essentially kind of get you into the driver's seat. The proof is in the pudding. And what you've managed to accomplish with this entire project, so many facets from just the development effort in itself, 4 years of sustained development, incredible design, like the art direction is just second to none. But then beyond that, this marketing effort that's seen you get to 70,000 wish lists. As you said yourself, it's not about the numbers because nothing is set in stone. And I do wish you a really high conversion rate, man. I hope those wish lists convert for you. But, more so than just it being a kind of marker of data, these wish lists are a marker of your effort and they represent what you guys have put in to this to get that out. So to those watching, go check out Dwerve on Steam, support indie, and also just go and study what these guys have accomplished here because it's rather extraordinary. Extraordinary because of all the games released every year, probably less than a fraction of a percent have done what these guys have done here. So there is something special about their execution. They managed to be at PAX, they got funded on Kickstarter, just so many things fell right. And it's not happenstance. These guys coordinated this very carefully. So, but it shows what can be accomplished when you grind it out for several years and stay true to your vision. So congratulations, guys. And I'll be one of the first players, and I'll leave you guys a lovely review. And to all of you, let this be a lesson that the indie dream is in fact still alive. All right, guys, all the best. See you in the next video. Oh, and go check out Pete's YouTube channel, Pixel Pete. I'll put a link below. See you guys. Bye.